Good day, Isabel. I am Mavis Carl from True Legal Media. Can you introduce yourself to our readers?
Hi Mavis, my name is Isabel Essen and I'm a development consultant in Cape Town.
How did you get to this position, Isabel?
I'm originally from Germany. I came to South Africa 6.5 years ago to work in the non-profit field. And I did my master's in education and economics at the University of Stuttgart in Germany. And straight after that, I came to Cape Town and started work in the educational non-profit field. And I've been doing that for the past 6.5 years now. And the middle of this year, I decided to start my own business because I felt that my skills and my expertise could be best used if I work with different people on different projects and not in a job for a non-profit organization. So yeah, that's how I became a development consultant, and I'm working for myself now. I'm self-employed.
That's great.
Isabel, can you tell us what does your job really entail?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's a difficult title to make sense of. I work with non-profit organizations, usually with the directors or the project managers also of organizations. And it involves staff training and support. It involves mentorship, things like fundraising consultancy. Fundraising is a very important field for non-profits, and strategic planning, organizational management. Those are the kind of things. It's quite broad, or web development, database development. It's quite broad. The projects I work on, yeah.
Okay, so what do you look forward to most in this profession?
One of the reasons why I decided to do this, to become independent and self-employed, it gives you a very different kind of freedom and independence in your work. I love being able to choose the projects that I want to work on and where I feel I can have the biggest impact. So those are one of the things I enjoy the most. And just to see the result of your work, see how empowered and inspired people can be if you just help them get onto the right path, if you mentor them, if you work with them for a while.
That's great. So what else will you be doing if you were not working with, or if you were not doing your own job?
I guess if I wasn't in this field at all, I might be a psychiatrist or a medical doctor. It's always been something that I'm very passionate about, that I've been very passionate about as well. And I do counsel as a volunteer counselor for Lifeline as well. So probably that might be something I might be doing more professionally, if I wasn't doing what I'm currently doing, yeah.
Okay, and what are some of the challenges that you daily face in your field?
It's very different to be self-employed than to work for a company. It's on a couple of levels. It's more difficult. You are in charge of your own, of your own admin. I have to do my own tax now, which I didn't have to do beforehand, or in a very different way. I don't just get an income at the end of the month. I need to make sure that I have enough clients, enough projects, so to sustain myself. And I think one has to be very self-disciplined and organized to juggle different projects, to make sure you have your resources and everything in order. So those are certainly the challenges.
And what is your definition of perfect success?
It's an interesting question, because I've had an interesting year for myself, and just to decide where do I want to go. And I've been in this field, yes, for many years, but where do I want to go? And for me, success is to be happy with what you're doing, and to give the absolute, to give your all, whatever that means, no? But to just give 100%, and enjoy what you're doing, and looking forward to the next day of work. And the other thing, which is quite important for me, is just knowing that you have an impact, knowing that what you do changes people's lives on a small scale. Sometimes it's a small, sometimes it's a bigger scale. But knowing that, going to bed in the evening and knowing I've done well today, and I've helped someone along, I've helped an organization along, I've helped a project along. That's when I personally feel successful.
And have you achieved yet in your field now?
I don't see it as something to achieve and then you get there and then it's done and ticked off. I see it more as it's a journey. It's like life overall is an adventure, and you go through different jobs and you go through different life stages. So I've had many successful and fulfilled moments in my life, but I do see it as something that is constantly evolving.
And considering your career path now, what do you think the government of South Africa can do to empower women and the youth in this country?
So I've worked in education for a number of years now, and I feel that not just women, the youth in general need more support. They need more support structures. They need people to look up to. They need the chance to have a holistic upbringing. And a lot of children in this country have that through their homes, but as we know, many children don't have that. And for me, that starts in school and goes through to tertiary, like a holistic upbringing where they have the chance to experience music, arts, sports, poetry, nature, and within all of that, and to have a good quality education, and within all of that have the chance to find their very own path. If you never, as a young woman or as a young man, if you never had the chance, the opportunity to be exposed to a variety of different things, then in areas, you might miss the one that you're good in and that you're passionate about. Yeah.
So, Isabel, can you tell us your dream as a child? What did you dream of becoming in future?
I think as a child I wanted to be, there were like two things. I always wanted to travel, and I wanted to have a job where I can support and inspire people and teach. I thought of becoming a teacher. And I actually originally studied to become a teacher, but changed my focus slightly. And in a way, I feel I've achieved both, because I've come quite far from Germany now to South Africa. And I'm certainly in a job, in a position where I'm working very close with people. And whether you call it teaching or mentorship, it's all you have a similar impact. So, yeah.
Okay. Talking about impact now, can you name a person who has had a tremendous impact on your life, personally or professionally?
The first person I think that comes to my mind is my first boss, Jane Keane, who is the director of Cape Town South African nonprofit organization, South African Education and Environment Project. I was straight out of university, and I've done my master's, so I wasn't that young anymore. But I definitely lacked hands-on job experience. And she just gave me the tremendous opportunity to really experience, to get in my experience, the most important thing for me is to have those things balanced. To just keep a healthy balance. It's one of the things I'm trying to achieve in various areas of my life.
And what do you do in your leisure time?
In my leisure time, I'm quite an active person. I really like to do sports. I do something called acrobatic yoga, and just yoga in general, and contemporary dancing. It's those two things. I do minimum an hour a day, and it keeps me sane, and it gets rid of any stress, and it's just, again, to balance my work and leisure life. That's what I do.
Okay, and it's not hectic, because I think I went through your Facebook and I saw all those styles and skills there.
It's a lot of fun, I must say. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. What is it that you had always wanted to do and have not gotten around to do it yet?
I think jump out of an airplane with a parachute. I think that's one of those things that's always been on the agenda, but I haven't gotten around doing it. So
quite ambitious.
We'll see if we get there.
That's good. What will you say to a young South African who is at a crossroad regarding the choice of career?
It's a hard decision. I mean, we all were there at some stage. Especially if you're straight out of high school, and now you're meant to decide what are you going to do with the rest of your life. It's a lot of pressure that gets put onto youth, I feel. And if you're not so lucky to know 100% this is what I want to do, then my advice would be to study something that you're passionate about, even if you're not entirely certain yet what your career with those studies will look like, but to go into a field that you are passionate about, because you will succeed if you have the drive, and if you are enjoying what you're doing, you will eventually succeed. So my advice would always be to do something that you enjoy.
Okay. Finally, how do you balance work and family activities?
For me, it's about giving full attention to what I'm doing. So when I'm working, I'm trying to be fully present and fully attentive to my work. But the same if I'm with my husband, if I'm with friends, to just make sure you're fully in the moment, and you're not mixing it up too much, because then your mind is all over and you can't really enjoy and focus on what you're doing. So it's just making sure you have time set aside for all those important things in your life, and that includes work and family and friends.
And Isabel, as a person that's self-employed, how would you say you schedule your days? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not maybe always busy, or you don't always have free time, but how do you schedule your normal average day?
So Palestine is incredibly supportive, and I'm one of those people. I need that support from family and friends. It means a lot to me, and the decision to become self-employed is a decision that we took together. It was not a decision that I took by myself, and he's incredibly supportive and is behind me 100%, and that gives me the strength and the freedom to say, okay, I'll go out and I'll do this.
Okay, a final word of inspiration to the youth out there, please.
Follow your dreams, and don't give up, and don't let other people tell you what you can or can't do. And I think don't be afraid to make mistakes, and just personally try and learn from those mistakes, and get through tough times and difficult times, but see what, once you're through them, what positive can you take out of them, and just follow your passion.
Thank you, Isabel, for your time.
Thank you.